Hi, my name is David Blissett, and in this week's video, we're going to be quickly taking a look on a scenario where you're in Maya, you're trying to do an onParent, but you're getting an extra node generated, a transform node to preserve the transforms, and you don't want that. So let's see if we can recreate the issue and then solve the required workflow. Okay, so here I have a hand and I want to get a second hand for the left hand side because this is the right. So I'm going to duplicate that and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this over into the opposite axis. Now, the natural thing to think is, hey, let's just go ahead and freeze transform. So let's see what happens when we do that. So we're going ahead and we're going to freeze the transform and something really strange happens, and that's not what we want, right? So let's undo that. So how do I overcome this, right? So I can't just freeze the transform. I want to zero out my scale X axis. Right, so what I've found for me is, well, let's just firstly name this so we don't get confused, right? And so now I'm going to expand the entire hierarchy. Now if you notice, the geometry and these the actual joints, they kind of moved away from each other. So if I go ahead and unparent the geometry by itself, notice I didn't get any extra geometry node. But if I go ahead and do that for the joint itself, I've unparented, but it's created this extra transform node, and I don't want that. So what is the fix for this, right? So now in this instance, I should be able to get away with actually doing the actual modifying of the transforms without it actually shifting its location. So I'm going to go modify and shift. And all it's done now is rightfully, it's flipped the x-axis to preserve the actual move. But if you notice, the geometry is in the same place where it's supposed to be. So I can just go ahead and put that back in here in terms of parenting. And I have my second hand flipped into the other axis without it making any